A very good morning. It's just past 8 this Thursday morning and we're back again with Breakfast News. I'm Rukma and with me is Shubhendu. A very good morning to you, Shubhendu. And viewers, in the next 1 hour, we take you through all the stories making headlines across India and the world as we celebrate Prime Minister Modi's 70th birthday today. We also bring you all the updates from Parliament, the COVID situation, as well as special segments on health and sports.
Absolutely. Good morning. Welcome to Breakfast News, the day's first comprehensive roundup of all the news and updates from India and across the world. As Rukma mentioned, Prime Minister Narendra Modi's birthday. He turned 70. The show up ahead, we'll talk about his legacy. Also, updates from the Parliament. Rukma will also talk about India's preparedness for any eventuality as far as our northern frontiers with China is concerned. All that and more. Let's begin with the headlines.
70th birthday of Prime Minister Narendra Modi being celebrated as Seva Divas today. BJP observing Seva Saptah, organizing several public welfare programs across the country. President Rajnath Singh and cabinet colleagues extend greetings.
Taxation and other laws relaxation and amendment of certain provisions, Bill 2020 to be introduced in Lok Sabha today. Salaries, allowances of Ministers' Amendment Bill 2020 scheduled in Rajya Sabha for passing after discussion. Rajya Mantri Rajnath Singh to give statement on line of actual control situation.
Indian Army fully geared up for any eventuality during acute winter conditions in eastern Ladakh.
Global initiative to reduce land degradation and coral reef program launched at G20 Environment Ministers meet. Union Environment, Climate Change and Forest Minister Prakash Javadekar says India has taken significant steps to protect environment and forest and wildlife as well as combating pollution and climate change.
India registers record recovery in corona cases on Wednesday. India's Dr. Reddy's lab signs pact with Russian company to supply 100 million doses of Russian vaccine Sputnik 5 in India after it gets official clearance.
COVID-19 cases crossed 3 crore mark worldwide. Over 9.4 lakh people died so far. WHO warns of COVID-19 momentum as winter looms in the northern hemisphere.
Australia win the third and final ODI and the series against England at Old Trafford. It is England's first loss in a bilateral ODI series at home since 2015 with a record chase.
And the news that we're going to begin with is Prime Minister Narendra Modi's birthday. He turned 70. And his legacy is much to reflect upon, Rukma, starting from humble backgrounds to rising to the top office and making a mark in India and globally.
Truly, Shubhendu, an inspiration for many as we recount his many achievements as a Prime Minister. It's his second term and also as a Chief Minister before that of one of the most prosperous and developed states in the country.
Absolutely. And his commitment to development and Seva Saptah. That is how the party members of the BJP are going to be celebrating the week for Prime Minister's birthday. So again, the commitment to the cause of social justice and development taken forward.
In fact, as wishes pour in from across India and the world, you'll notice, Shubhendu, most of them are about his immense achievements, his immense contribution towards empowering the poor and the marginalized through each and every policy decision that he has taken.
Absolutely. And as we mentioned, today is Prime Minister Narendra Modi's birthday. Born on 17 September 1950 in Vadnagar, Gujarat, Narendra Modi was the third child of Damodar Das Modi and Hiraba. The BJP is celebrating Prime Minister Modi's birthday as a week-long Seva Saptah. BJP Chief JP Nadda started Seva Saptah from Noida in Uttar Pradesh by participating in a special plantation program. BJP party leaders and workers will celebrate Seva Saptah by participating in the plantation drive, attending different programs for helping Divyangjan and donating blood.
And greetings are pouring in to wish Prime Minister Modi on his birthday. In a tweet, President Rajnath Singh extended greetings and best wishes to the Prime Minister. He wished him good health so that the nation can benefit from his invaluable services. Home Minister Amit Shah also extended birthday greetings to PM Modi. In his message, the Home Minister said the country has got a leadership in the form of PM Modi that connected the deprived class with the mainstream of development and laid the foundation of a strong India. He further said that PM Modi has devoted his life for nation building and upliftment of the poor.
And good wishes have been pouring in. That message from Home Minister Amit Shah on Prime Minister's birthday. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh said greetings and warm wishes to Prime Minister Narendra Modi on his birthday. India has benefited tremendously under his leadership, firm conviction and decisive action. He has been working assiduously towards empowering the poor and the marginalised. Defence Minister's message, he says, praying for his good health and long life.
Again, Union Minister, as wishes are pouring in, we go on to the message of Union Minister Prakash Javadekar, who extended his greetings on Prime Minister Narendra Modi's birthday. Let's listen in.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has given a hope to the people of India that yes, our country will change for the better and change faster. He has given a hope and has proved in last 6 years that he is a doer. He does what he speaks, and he speaks what he thinks in the larger interest of the country. He has no other obsession except to serve the nation. And therefore, people's love and affection for him is growing day by day. And we are seeing the highest approval rating all over.
And let's also listen into what people have to say on Prime Minister Narendra Modi's birthday.
मैं नरेंद्र दामोदर दास मोदी
एज अ चीफ मिनिस्टर से लेकर आज तक उन्होंने कोई अपने पूरे करियर में छुट्टी नहीं की है, लगातार अपने देश के लिए सेवा की है। इसके अलावा बहुत अच्छी अच्छी चीज़ें उन्होंने हम लोगों को सिखाई हैं, जैसे योग करना।
और सबसे बड़ी बात है कि ये जो जितनी भी रणनीति होती है इसके रिजल्ट 8-10 साल बाद दिखाई देते हैं, अभी इमीडिएट रिजल्ट दिखाई देंगे नहीं।
70 साल का इतिहास उठा के देख लीजिए, एक भी ऐसा प्रधानमंत्री आपको नहीं मिलेगा जो नरेंद्र मोदी को टक्कर दे सके या उनके विचारधारा से कहीं होगा। तो
नरेंद्र दामोदर दास मोदी।
So good wishes pouring in from all quarters, whether his colleagues, ministers are concerned or people in general. Good wishes pouring in for Prime Minister.
And leaders across the world too wishing the Prime Minister on his 70th birthday. He's always referred in every speech of his, especially after he was elected to office by the people with a tremendous resounding majority. He's always referred to his humble beginnings, always referred to how others can reach where he has.
And again, once again noting the manner in which the party workers of his party BJP are marking the entire week of his birthday Seva Saptah.
Starting from September 14th, in fact, till the 20th. And many activities planned, led by union ministers, led by party workers and the general public too participating.
And perhaps more good wishes would be pouring in, Rukma, as the day progresses.
True. Well, moving on now, parliamentary proceedings on day 3 of the monsoon session turned out to be yet another fruitful day in both houses yesterday. In a written reply of the Home Ministry in the Rajya Sabha, no infiltration from China has taken place in the past 6 months. According to a written reply, 47 infiltration attempts were made by Pakistan in the first 6 months of 2020. A look at the business transacted on Wednesday in the House.
And research in Ayurveda Bill 2020 with the Rajya Sabha approving it on Wednesday. The Lok Sabha has already passed the bill. The bill seeks to establish an institute of teaching and research in Ayurveda and declare it an institute of national importance. Replying to discussion, Health and Family Welfare Minister Dr. Harshvardhan said that the government is committed to promoting the ancient medicine system, including Ayurveda. He added that the bill also has the provision to merge 3 Ayurveda institutes into one.
Government has approved rupees 4,000 crores project under the Atmanirbhar Bharat for cultivation of medicinal plants and supplementing the income of farmers. It will also ensure the availability of raw material for the Ayush sector. And right now, Ayurveda and our Indian systems are appreciated and recognized by the World Health Organization also.
The steps taken by the government to fight COVID-19 were also discussed in the Rajya Sabha on Wednesday. BJP leader Vinay Sahasrabudhe said that the fight against COVID-19 is a challenging task before us, and India will succeed only if the centre and the state governments work in tandem.
भारत के राजनीतिक दलों के इतिहास में ये एक स्वर्णिम प्रकरण है और मैं मानता हूं कि सारे राजनीतिक दल इसी काम में लगे और देश को कोरोना की महामारी से बचाने के लिए सरकार के जो प्रयास चल रहे हैं उनसे कंधे से कंधा मिलाकर अपना भी योगदान दे.
Opposition leaders asked the government to take more concrete steps in the fight against COVID-19. Congress leader Anand Sharma said that the government should prepare a database of labourers and other people who lost their lives during the pandemic and give them compensation, while TMC and SP members questioned the manner in which lockdown was imposed in the country.
उनको मुआवजा दिया जाए, आगे के लिए एक नेशनल डेटाबेस बनाइए आप कि माइग्रेंट वर्कर कहां हैं, देश के किस जगह पे हैं, उनका सारों का रजिस्टर हो.
In the Lok Sabha, the Banking Regulation Amendment Bill 2020 was passed after discussion. Moving the bill, the Finance Minister said that the amendment is to protect the depositors' interests, as in some unfortunate situation in banks, depositors are always at the receiving end.
इस बिल को हम इसीलिए ले रहे हैं क्योंकि पिछले 2 साल से हम लगातार कोऑपरेटिव बैंक्स और स्मॉल बैंक्स जिनके डिपॉजिटर्स को बहुत तकलीफ हो रही है, उन डिपॉजिटर्स का प्रोटेक्शन के लिए और उनके इंटरेस्ट के प्रोटेक्शन के लिए और कोऑपरेटिव बैंक्स जो कोऑपरेटिव सोसाइटीज जो बैंक के नाते काम करते हैं, उनमें जो बैंक के नाम उपयोग करते हैं या बैंकर या बैंकिंग के काम करते हैं, उनको रेगुलेट करने के लिए इस बैंकिंग एक्ट के द्वारा, बैंकिंग रेगुलेशन एक्ट अमेंडमेंट के द्वारा उनका डिपॉजिटर्स का प्रोटेक्शन के लिए ये अमेंडमेंट लिया जा रहा है.
The third day of the monsoon session saw MPs from various parties raising many issues of national importance in the 0 hour. With Rishi Kumar and Rajesh Raj, News Night Desk, DD India.
And on the 4th day of monsoon session, a bill further to amend the salaries and allowances of Ministers Act 1952 will be taken into consideration in Rajya Sabha today. Besides Homeopathy Central Council Amendment Bill 2020, Indian Medicine Central Council Amendment Bill 2020 will also be taken up for consideration and passage in Rajya Sabha. The Insolvency and Bankruptcy Second Amendment Bill 2020 is also listed for consideration and passing in the upper house. Those are some of the highlights of the list of business in Rajya Sabha. Also, Raksha Mantri Rajnath Singh will make a statement on the India-China border issue in the upper house. Also, discussion will continue on the statement of Health Minister on COVID-19 situation across the country.
Again in the Lok Sabha, the Taxation and Other Laws Relaxation and Amendment of Certain Provisions Bill 2020 will be introduced by the Finance Minister. The Farmers Produce, Trade and Commerce Promotion and Facilitation Bill 2020, Farmers Empowerment and Protection Agreement on Price Assurance and Farm Services Bill 2020 will be taken up for consideration and passing in the lower house today.
And our colleague Abhishek Jha is joining us with more updates from the Parliament. Abhishek, good morning. A lot of crucial bills to be taken up in the Parliament today. Farmers' welfare and other issues?
Taking the issue in the farmers' welfare, something that has been government's prime agenda over these years. So that will be taken in the Parliament, and you know that bill actually intends to empower farmers not only financially, it will also give them right over their own produce. They will have their decision making whether to produce their whether to sell their produce and whom to sell that produce. So that is a positive direction in terms of increasing farmers' income that government has promised in the past years. Another major highlight of the day will be Defence Minister Rajnath Singh's statement on India-China border issue in Rajya Sabha. Somewhere around 11 a.m. that the statement is he's about to make that statement, where he will clearly lay the ground reality, what is going on along the line of control, line of actual control in Ladakh, and what are India's preparedness, what is the Chinese side's position, and what has been the diplomatic and military level development in the past few weeks and few months over the issue. Also, that discussion on COVID-related matters will continue in the House, where Dr. Harshvardhan has earlier said that how India has been able to trace, track, and treat people, test people, and that has helped India, keep the number of COVID patients under a limited number of COVID patients. Also, the fatality rate in India has been one of the lowest in the world, with per million deaths of people counting somewhere a little above 50. So these are the positive factors in India's fight against COVID. However, government is still cautiously is treading on the fight, and it is leaving no stone unturned to facilitate more medical facility to the people and ensure that a higher number of medical tests for this COVID illness is done every day. Right,
Abhishek, as you pointed out, and very fruitful discussions yesterday in both the houses as well. The written reply of the Home Ministry in the Rajya Sabha about no infiltration from China taking place in the past 6 months. Also, 47 infiltration attempts by Pakistan foiled in 2020. It was indeed a very categorical statements, continuous categorical statements by India on border standoff along the border, on border issues with neighbors since day one of Parliament, of the monsoon session.
Exactly, Rukma, and the difference between the statements which was made in Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha was that the Pakistani side's transgression, Pakistani side's attempted infiltration that was mentioned. We know that this is not a new phenomena from Pakistani side. India has been always dealing with this cross-border infiltration from Pakistani side with the help from Pakistani military officials and with the help of Pakistani state. However, the alerted troops have been foiling these attempts. So, number of attempts have been coming down over the years. However, there are still, leakages. There are still boundaries where they can easily cross over. So, however, no matter what Pakistan tries to portray its image internationally in fight against global terrorism, the fact is it is still very much hands in gloves with these elements who tries to create this menace of terrorism,
right.
Especially in Kashmir.
Right, Abhishek. Well, thank you so much for joining us there and for your inputs. Well, you keep your eyes on that story as day 4 begins in a short while from now.
And let's now look at our next big story. Moving on, the Indian side has asserted that it is fully prepared to fight a full-fledged war, even in winters in eastern Ladakh. The Indian army, even if China created conditions for war, they will face a better trained, better prepared, fully rested and psychologically hardened Indian troops. The statement comes close on the heels of Raksha Mantri drawing the line that India is very serious about issues of sovereignty and that the country is prepared for all contingencies to ensure that it is maintained.
Asserting that it is fully prepared to fight a full-fledged war even in winters in eastern Ladakh, Indian Army on Wednesday gave a strong message to the adversary. According to agency sources, the army has said that if China created conditions for war, they will face a better trained, better prepared, fully rested and psychologically hardened Indian troops. The sources further said that the Indian Army has said that compared to physically and psychologically battle-hardened Indian troops, Chinese troops mostly are from urban areas and not used to hardships or prolonged deployment under field conditions. According to the sources, the Army has said that the Indian Army is fully prepared and more than capable of fighting a full-fledged war even in winters in eastern Ladakh. At the military level, it is well prepared for the prolonged standoff. Indian soldiers have a huge experience of winter warfare. Indian soldiers are psychologically tuned to operate at short notice. It is important to understand that the army has the experience of Siachen. Siachen is called the highest battleground in the world. In Siachen, conditions are much more demanding than the frontiers with China. India has a large number of air bases which can maintain the army well. Modern snow cleaning equipment has also been placed on many routes to keep them open beyond November. Special fuel and lubricants for tanks and armored personnel carriers have also been stocked adequately. Water points and tube wells have been established for the troops and animals like mules and yaks. The living barracks have also been prepared, which are comfortable and warm. Ammunition of various types including small arms, missiles, tank and artillery ammunition have also been adequately stocked, and the medical system is also in place for any eventuality. Meanwhile, the government has said there's been no infiltration along the India-China border in the last 6 months, while 47 infiltration bids have been reported along the India-Pakistan border during the period. Union Minister of State for Home Nityanand Rai also informed the Rajya Sabha that 594 attempts of infiltration into Jammu and Kashmir by Pakistani militants have been reported in the last 3 years. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has already made it clear that neither is anyone inside Indian territory nor is any of Indian posts being captured. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh has also categorically stated in Parliament that India is committed to peaceful ways and means to resolve the crisis, but is ready to defend territorial integrity of the nation at all costs.
Armed forces in Ladakh have adequate fuel and food. All preparations have been made for any challenges during the winters from across the border. Vishal Baristo brings you this special report.
Fuel tankers leaving for forward locations in eastern Ladakh. Fuel plays a crucial role in fighting the falling mercury that goes down up to 70 degrees.
I'm here at the highest fuel oil depot of Indian Army. As you can see, these tankers, they are being refueled. They are 16 in numbers and they have all queued up, and from here the fuel would be taken to different places. And it is not only the fuel but also the lubricants. It is also one of the largest fuel oil depot of our defense forces.
Apart from fuel, best quality nutritious ration has also been fully stocked for winters. This also includes the local produce to boost the local economy.
The inventory is very vast so as to cater for preference of all soldiers from all parts of this country at a scale which is at par for all ranks. We receive rations here from the base depots pan-India in civil and military vehicles. Today we hold the complete requirement of supplies for all troops which are deployed in Ladakh sector.
Army godowns are full of nutritious and ready-to-use rations specially required during winters in high altitude to maintain physical fitness of our forces, including man and animal.
There's a saying in Defence Forces, your logistics decide your operational limit. I am here at a godown which stores the dry ration, ready-to-use ration, and also all the required ingredients which are of the best of quality. The ration and the quantity is same for every man in uniform, be it an officer, be it a soldier. This ration is for both Army and Air Force, and it has been procured from the nearby areas also to keep in mind the boost up of the local economy. The ration is not only for the men but also for the animals, for example dogs and beasts of burden. From here the ration would be sent to different locations. Winters are approaching, and that is why all the stocking has been done, and the stocking is of best of quality.
The largest depot of 14 corps ensures that we have ample ammunition and special mountaineering equipments.
ये हमारा एक बहुत ही स्पेशल टेंट है, इसे बोलते हैं टेंट हाई ऑल्टीट्यूड 10 to 12 मैन। ये 10 से 12 जवानों को सक्षम बनाता है -50 डिग्री तक के टेम्परेचर में रहने के लिए। जैसा कि आप देख सकते हैं, ये ऊपर से वाटरप्रूफ है और अंदर से इसमें क्विल्टिंग की गई है, तो एक्सट्रीम कोल्ड क्लाइमेट में भी ये हमारे जवान को बखूबी सर्दी का सामना करने का हौसला देता है।
The depot has special support from 170 defense civilians who keep a record of the stores.
डिपो में नंबर 1 क्वालिटी का माउंटेनियरिंग, बुखारी, टेंटेज, स्पेशल क्लोथिंग हम आगे अपने जवानों को इशू करते हैं, और मुझे गर्व है कि हम इंडियन आर्मी की एक अभिन्न अंग है और हम इंडियन आर्मी के साथ कंधे से कंधा मिलाकर काम करते हैं।
I am here at the largest ordnance depot of Ladakh, which has the facility of not only arms and ammunition but also tentage and special equipment. There you see, this is the hyperbaric chamber in case a soldier is injured and he has to be evacuated and airlifted, so he has to be taken in this special chamber. These are the special equipments, and every soldier who comes here in Ladakh and who is deployed in the advanced areas are divided into 2 categories. With cameraman Rajesh Ricky in Ladakh, this is Vishal Baristo, DD India.
And let's now take a look at the COVID-19 update from across the country. India registered the highest single-day recoveries of 82,961 COVID patients on Wednesday. The Maharashtra, with 19,423 recoveries, contributed 23.41% of the new recoveries. Nearly 59% of the new recoveries came from these 5 states, including Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, Uttar Pradesh and Tamil Nadu. 27 states and union territories are reporting recovery rate of more than 70%. With this, overall recovery rate has improved to 78.53%. The total recovered cases of COVID-19 stand at 39,42,360. Currently, there are 9,95,933 active cases in the country. The gap between recovered and active cases has crossed 29 lakh mark. Recovered cases are nearly 4 times. It's about 3.96 the number of active cases.
The government has allowed RT-PCR testing at the entry of airport on pilot basis to facilitate the transfer of international passengers. Civil Aviation Minister Hardeep Singh Puri said this in a written reply in the Rajya Sabha yesterday. According to the guidelines, airport operator will create sample collection cum waiting lounge facility for RT-PCR testing. The operator will provide the option to the passengers to either stay at the waiting lounge, awaiting test results, or to proceed to a designated hotel to isolate themselves till the test results are available. If the test results are negative, the passenger will be permitted to exit the waiting lounge and proceed to the departure to catch the connecting flight. However, if the result is positive, passengers will be processed in line with applicable ICMR protocol by state authorities.
And Prime Minister Narendra Modi expressed grief over the demise of Lok Sabha MP Bali Durga Prasad Rao Garu. Prime Minister Modi in a tweet message said, saddened by demise of Lok Sabha MP Bali Durga Prasad Rao Garu. He was an experienced leader who made effective contributions towards the progress of Andhra Pradesh. My thoughts are with his family and well-wishers in this sad hour. Om Shanti.
The G20 Environment Ministerial meeting under Saudi Arabian presidency has selected the theme, Realizing Opportunities of the 21st Century for All. The meetings focused on various social and economic issues such as agriculture, anti-corruption, climate, digital economy, education, employment, energy, environment, health, tourism, trade and investment.
Environment Ministerial meeting of the G20 countries was held on Wednesday through video conferencing under the presidency of Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Union Minister for Environment and Climate Change, Prakash Javadekar, shared efforts made by India towards achieving land degradation neutrality and towards attainment of global goals of climate change mitigation and adaptation. He reiterated India's commitment to work with G20 nations for a better world and added that India is blessed with vast biodiversity and ecosystem.
India has already undertaken significant actions for protection of environment, forests, wildlife, as well as for combating pollution and climate change. We are committed to work together with G20 countries to make the world better to all.
Javadekar also elaborated on efforts made by India for protection of environment, forests and wildlife, as well as for combating pollution, coral reef management and climate change. He said that India is walking the talk on Paris Agreement and its climate commitments.
India is hosting presidency of COP14 UNCCD. We have taken the world's largest target of restoration of 26 million of degraded hectares of degraded land. It's a huge target, and India is one of the few countries whose climate actions fulfills the requirement of Paris Agreement to ensure a less than 2 degree rise in global temperature by the end of century.
Union Minister applauded the launch of Global Initiative to Reduce Land Degradation and Coral Reef Program at the G20 Environment Ministers Meet. Tapas Bhattacharya, DD India.
And coming up next is news from across the globe. Much of the focus is going to be the management of COVID-19. And Rukma, it's interesting how in American politics, masks and COVID has also become a political issue.
True, and also, we'll take a look at the figures. Worries also have been expressed by the WHO as the months progress and we come closer to winter.
That's correct. Let's in fact begin by looking at how the numbers stand as far as COVID-19 cases throughout the world are concerned. The overall number of global cases has surpassed the 3 crore mark, as we mentioned earlier, while the deaths have increased to over 9.44 lakh worldwide. As many as 2.17 crore people have recovered to health from this virus so far. United States, US continues to top the list, being the worst hit country by the pandemic so far, with the highest number of COVID-19 cases. US has recorded over 68.26 lakh cases of COVID-19, with casualties now crossing the 2 lakh mark. In terms of casualties, deaths, Brazil stands second on the tally with some 1.34 lakh deaths. There are 44.21 lakh cases of COVID-19 in Brazil.
Breaking news coming in. Security forces, 3 terrorists killed in a Srinagar encounter.
The news that is coming in from Jammu and Kashmir, from Srinagar, is an encounter underway. 3 terrorists have been eliminated. We'll await more details from it, but that's the news that is coming in at this moment. Encounter underway in Srinagar, Jammu and Kashmir. 3 terrorists have been killed in the encounter so far. We have to gather more details on this. We'll try and connect with our colleague Salman Qazi from Srinagar. Salman, if you're with us, we're getting this update about the encounter in Srinagar. 3 terrorists have been eliminated. What more details can you provide us?
This is an encounter that started in the morning today. There was a coordinated search operation in the area, Batamaloo, which is a locality in the center of the Srinagar. It's a densely populated area where there was a coordinated search operation by the CRPF, and the CRPF party which was searching was fired upon, and that triggered the encounter. In this encounter, the latest reports that we have are that 3 militants have been killed, 1 commandant of CRPF has been injured, and 1 more civilian woman, 45-year-old woman, was injured, has come to her injuries.
Salman, we are hearing that it's in Srinagar. So, what kind of an area exactly in what kind of an area exactly did the encounter take place? And what about local people in the area? Is it thickly populated? Is it sparsely populated? Have the people been cordoned off and so on? What more details can you give us?
Yeah, definitely. This is one of the most densely populated areas in the Srinagar. It is just and a half kilometer from the city center in the Srinagar, Lal Chowk, and one of the most densely areas in the Srinagar. So definitely, it would be a very difficult operation as there are many as there are very close houses, and it would be very difficult to kind of isolate the houses in which the militants were hiding. So this is that kind of an area. Very urban area, very densely populated, and very close houses, very close to each other. So definitely, it's an added challenge to the security forces to conduct an operation there.
All right, Salman there, thanks very much for getting us those initial updates on the news coming in from Srinagar. 3 terrorists have been killed in the encounter taking place in Srinagar, Jammu and Kashmir. Moving on, the World Health Organization, WHO, has warned that COVID-19 is spreading at a worrying pace in some parts of Northern Hemisphere, a few months away from the winter influenza season. WHO technical head for COVID-19, Maria Van Kerkhove, said they are seeing an increase in hospitalizations in intensive care units in several places, including Spain, France, Montenegro, Ukraine, and some states of United States. She said it was worrying because we're in mid-September and we haven't started the flu season yet. She also said hospitalizations of people aged 15 to 44 infected with COVID-19 were increasing in several countries. Dr. Mike Ryan, the WHO's top emergency expert, advised people at high risk for COVID-19 infections to get a flu vaccination.
And US President Donald Trump has said at least 10 crore doses of a coronavirus vaccine could be distributed in the United States by the end of 2020. In a White House briefing, the US President said that the United States is on track to deliver and distribute the vaccine in a very safe and effective manner. He said as soon as the FDA approves, at least 10 crore vaccines will be distributed across the country by the end of 2020.
Time now to also get more news and updates from the newspapers published today from the web. Rupa.
In our web review segment. And joining us for the web review is our colleague Arun Sharma. Arun, a very good morning to you. So what's making headlines on the web and in social media? What are people reading the most? It's over to you.
Good morning, Shubhendu. Good morning, Rukma. Good morning, all our viewers. So yes, we are once again back with the web news review, whereby we pick up news that is dominating in various, websites, the newspaper websites, and of course the social media. So let's now begin. Now, the first news is, of course, about the birthday of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. So we pick up a lot of photographs that are being put on the social media, like Facebook, Twitter. So wishes are pouring in from all across the country. Now, the global heads, or primarily, the wishes are also coming from other countries as well. Now, BJP is celebrating this week as Seva Saptah. So yes, it is Prime Minister Narendra Modi's birthday, and yes, all the people are uploading wishes on Twitter as well. So these are some of the photographs that you can see as of now, which are also trending on Twitter as well about Prime Minister Narendra Modi. So now let's take a look at the second important news over here. Now this is from Indian Express. Now, Indian Express talks about the Parliament session. It says that Lok Sabha passes the Banking Regulations Amendment Bill 2020. The focus of this Banking Regulation Amendment Bill is on giving more power to RBI as far as regulation of cooperative banks are concerned. We have seen that there were very much instability as far as banks like PMC banks are concerned. So now when we talk about cooperative banks in our country, Reserve Bank of India will be having more power. So it is now in Lok Sabha. Lok Sabha primarily has passed this bill. So it's an important part that Indian Express talks about. Now another big news is from the Statesman. Now, Statesman says that Reserve Bank of India Governor Shaktikanta Das has said that recovery of the pandemic hit Indian economy will be gradual. Now, he says that, he was addressing the FICCI conference, organized by FICCI, and he clearly said that now recovery of the pandemic hit Indian economy will be gradual. That means it will be a gradual recovery, and Reserve Bank of India is doing whatsoever is possible to boost the industries in our country so that a mega push can be given. Earlier also, Reserve Bank of India and also the government has taken various steps in order to boost the Indian economy and of course industries in our country. Let's now move on to another big news. Now this is from Times of India. Times of India, the international arena says that Russia to sell 100 million doses of COVID-19 vaccine to India. So now Russia's sovereign wealth fund has agreed to supply 100 million doses of its coronavirus vaccine. So this is what the news is on the international arena. Now it also says that the deal comes after Russian Direct Investment Fund RDIF reached agreements with Indian manufacturers to produce 300 million doses of the vaccine in India. So yes, now the focus is on vaccine development, and yes, global collaborations are happening as far as vaccine is concerned. Now next big news is from Hindustan Times. Now it says that Tata's bid puts them in front to back the new parliament building contract. Now the Hindustan Times says that it is quoting the spokesperson of the Tata, and it says that two Mumbai-based construction companies, that is Larsen & Toubro and Tata Projects, now they submitted their financial bids after qualifying in the technical round, and after that it was noted that Tata is leading as far as this bidding is concerned to develop the new parliament building. So yes, that's what Hindustan Times is quoting as of now. Next big article is from the Pink Paper's Economic Times. Now it says that Air India has earned close to 2,550 crore rupees of revenue from Vande Bharat flights till 31st of August. We know that close to 16 lakh Indians have returned back from various foreign locations who were stranded to India, and the Air India, the national carrier, has earned 2,550 crore, that is 2,550 crore rupees, while evacuating these passengers. Next news is from Mint. Now it says that Reliance Industries market capitalization has hit 16 trillion for the first time. Now, as Reliance Industries is having highest weightage as far as stock markets are concerned, as far as Sensex is concerned, and that's the reason we are also witnessing rally in the stock markets. Sensex is now gradually inching towards the 40,000 mark. It is because Reliance Industries is one of the heavyweight counter on the Sensex, and the market capitalization of Reliance Industries is for the first time touching 16 lakh crore rupees. So that is coming in from Mint. Now, next news is from Business Line. It says the pandemic tailwinds. Now, e-commerce sales set to double, in 2020. We have seen that because of the COVID-19 pandemic, more and more, people are purchasing online, making sales online. So yes, the sales from this e-commerce websites are primarily going to double going forward, and that's the reason why most of these e-commerce companies are into expansion mode. Some of the companies are bringing in IPO. Some of these e-commerce companies are hiring in this season as well during the COVID pandemic time. So their sales are also to double. So it's a good news for the e-commerce companies as of now, that yes, more and more job hiring is taking place and this sector is doubling going forward. Well, so that's it in this web news review, whereby we have picked up some of the top news and headlines from the various newspaper websites and social media. But for the news, back to you, Shubhendu and Rukma.
Devaran, thanks very much for getting us a scan of the important news stories that have come up in the web reviews. And Rukma, it's interesting how every aspect of our lives has been affected by the pandemic. Most of the news items, of course, but especially that e-commerce boost. People now prefer to order things online. And think of it, we used to do that newspaper review here in person in the studio, but now we're doing it online. So that use of digital has come as an opportunity amidst crisis of the pandemic.
Right, work from home in fact
Yes.
has taken on an entirely new meaning, Shubhendu, and also the fact that sales are up, the market is moving. That's immensely good news. And yesterday too, the markets and the way business activities went about was rather uplifting. Let's take a look at all that happened and all that's happening in our next segment, Biz Buzz.
An income tax department issues refunds of over 1.06 lakh crore to more than 30 lakh taxpayers till September 15. In a tweet, Central Board of Direct Taxes said income tax refunds of 31,741 crore rupees have been issued in over 29 lakh cases, and corporate tax refunds of some 74,729 crore rupees have been issued in over 1,74,000 cases.
The government is working on setting up single window system for clearances and approvals of industry, says Union Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal. In a written reply to the Lok Sabha, he said the cell is being planned as a one-stop digital platform to obtain all requisite central and state clearances and approvals to start business operations in the country. He further said the investment clearance cell will be a national portal that integrates the existing clearance systems of various ministries and departments of the government and of states without disrupting the existing IT portals of ministries.
And we now get you all the action from the world of sports.
Watch Sports Track. And Australia has won the third and final ODI to win the series against England at Old Trafford. It is England's first loss in a bilateral ODI series at home since 2015 with a record chase. Glenn Maxwell and Alex Carey struck twin centuries in a 212-run stand to help Australia reach its target of 303 with 2 balls remaining. At 73 runs for the loss of 5 wickets, their backs were against the wall. But the writing was not finished yet, as 2 splendid turns from Alex Carey and Maxwell have helped Australia claim a miraculous victory. It's the first bilateral ODI series England have lost at home since 2015. Earlier, England made a fantastic recovery from a horror start to end with 302 off 7 wickets after 50 overs. Captain Ian Morgan won the toss and decided to bat first in Manchester, but the Three Lions lost 2 wickets in the first 2 balls of their innings. But from there on, Johnny Bairstow steadied the ship and finished with a belligerent 112. A quick-fire 50 from Chris Wokes helped England cross 300. And
in times of pandemic, health becomes a priority. Let's find out what's in store in our health segment today. And we're talking about nutrition. Better nutrition is related to improved health, stronger immune system. Let's take a look at this report to find out more about the importance of nutrition for better health.
Good nutrition is an important part of leading a healthy lifestyle. Combined with physical activity, diet can help us to reach and maintain healthy weight, reduce the risk of chronic diseases, and promote our overall health.
Nutrition is essential for health. There is a close relationship between nutrition and health. Nutrition is required for the energy and basal metabolic activities of the body. Nutrition is required for the cells multiplication and repair. Nutrition is required for the physical and mental development of the body. Nutrition is required to build our immunity and protect us from the diseases. Balanced diet, healthy life. Take balanced diet which has got adequate amount of protein, carbohydrate, fats, vitamins and minerals. Be natural, stay natural. Take directly from the nature.
The food choices that we make each day affect our health. Healthy eating means eating a variety of foods that can give the nutrients that we need to maintain our health, feel good and have energy. We need variety of nutrients to maintain and promote our health.
Take seasonal fruits and vegetables in adequate amount. Take whole wheat, cereals, millets, pulses, bajra, makka and adequate amount of fruits and vegetables. Drink adequate amount of water. Take your meal at the right time in the right quantity with the right attitude. Eat healthy, stay healthy. Besides this, do regular exercise, adopt to healthy lifestyle, have good sleep.
Nutrition is important for everyone. It is time to start eating healthy and be cautious about the nutritious value of the food that we eat. Kiran Bhardwaj, DD News.
So, well, the importance of eating right, a balanced diet, reiterated once again. In fact, Shubhendu, the rules remain the same. The rules of a long and healthy and happy life remain the same, even though, well, they have increased in importance because we are living in COVID times.
And in the times of the pandemic, this is renewed interest and focus not just on the overall health infrastructure in terms of hospital, but individual initiatives that one can take of nutrition, building an immunity. So that becomes crucial. So we'll also always keep
many local foods acquire greater importance.
Yes.
Also,
a lot of
added to this,
you're right.
And added to this, of course, is the importance of maintaining hand washing hygiene and other things like social distancing and wearing of a mask. Well, it's September 17th today. Let's take a look at the major events that took place on this day in history.
On this day in 1879, Indian social activist and politician Periyar E.V. Ramasamy was born at Erode in Tamil Nadu. Periyar had started the self-respect movement and Dravidar Kazhagam. He is known as the father of modern Tamil Nadu. On this day in the year 1929, Anant Pai, popularly known as Uncle Pai, an educationist and a pioneer in Indian comics, was born. He is most famous as the creator of two comic book series, Amar Chitra Katha, which retold traditional Indian folk tales, mythological stories and biographies of historical characters, and Tinkle, a children's anthology. On this day in 1948, the Hyderabad state, which was under the Nizam's rule, merged with the Indian Union following a police action. On this day in the year 1976, NASA publicly unveiled its first space shuttle, the Enterprise, at ceremonies in Palmdale, California. On this day in 1978, the Camp David Accords, negotiated by US President Jimmy Carter, were completed, leading to a peace treaty between Egypt and Israel and a broader framework for pursuing peace in West Asia.
And now let us look at the weather updates and how the day is going to be as far as your city is concerned.
It's September 17th. The weatherman says that heavy rainfall is likely at isolated places over eastern Uttar Pradesh, West Madhya Pradesh, Vidarbha, Bihar, Sub-Himalayan West Bengal and Sikkim, Andaman and Nicobar Islands, Assam and Meghalaya, Madhya Maharashtra, Marathwada, Konkan and Goa, coastal Andhra Pradesh and Yanam, Telangana, coastal and north interior Karnataka, Kerala and Mahe. Moderate to severe thunderstorm with lightning very likely at isolated places over eastern UP, Bihar, West Bengal and Sikkim and other northeastern states as well as Madhya Maharashtra, as well as moderate thunderstorm with lightning over Uttarakhand, Madhya Pradesh, South Rajasthan among others. Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, Odisha, Arunachal Pradesh and other northeastern states as well likely to experience moderate thunderstorm with lightning. Also strong winds very likely over southwest Arabian Sea. Fishermen are advised not to venture into these areas. And now let's take a look at temperatures recorded in major cities across the country.
That was the weather update from across the country, and we also move towards the conclusion of this edition of Breakfast News. The news to follow would be, of course, the update that is coming in on the encounter underway in Srinagar, where 3 terrorists have been eliminated by security forces. We'll keep tracking that story and get you more updates. But of course, Parliament, Prime Minister's birthday, some big stories, COVID management that we'll be tracking through the day and getting you all the latest updates.
Right, and as Shubhendu said, it's time to conclude the show. That's all we have for you in this edition of Breakfast News. But before we go, we'll leave you with glimpses of this year's Guinness World Record holders. Take a look. Namaskar.
So that you set your standards high. Namaskar. Have a good day.